Let's go live, shall we? Let's go live. Get down on it, choo choo. Get down on it, choo choo. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. I'm sure I'll be banned, Kim. Let's get it on. We're going to talk about a couple things tonight, Marie, that I want to talk about. One is we're going to talk a little bit. I want to dive into this ARK. And hey, folks, this is a pulverizer. You had said something that was kind of funny. I forgot what it was. But anyway, you had said something that was I forgot what it was. Oh, real quick, I want to show you guys something here. Alan, que paso? I posted this on my channel community page. I'm going to find it. Hold on just a second. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. All right. So if you aren't, let's go share. Hey, Don, Alan. I'm getting the I don't know if it's psychosis, whatever it's called, psychosomatic, whatever. Every time it goes from winter to spring, I just get crud, and I'm getting that right now. Just like, it's crazy. It's not COVID. It might be COVID, but I highly suspect it's not. Every year throughout my whole life, when winter goes into spring, I get just crud. And I just don't feel, I feel fine. I'll work out tomorrow, but it's just like congested, whatnot, just like a little bit of a sore throat. It's crazy. It's a psychosomatic. Is that what it's called? Yeah, well, that's what we're going to show you. So it's not even hacked. It's just some clown. Psychosomatic, where you tell yourself, I'm going to get, when the spring comes, I'm going to get sick. Because I'm sick. It's just like that. All right, so we're going to go to the community tab of my Heritage Wealth Planning, and then you'll know me with my bright and smiley, and it says Heritage Wealth Planning. All right, and you'll see where it says Heritage Wealth Planning kind of highlighted. All right, hold on a second. And then we're going to go down to see what Connor McGee is doing here. And he's got, he says, hey, contact my broker, blah, blah. Tell me what your Cash App is or WhatsApp is or whatever the hell it is. And that ain't me. All right, so I guess the two, I don't know if this is what I just saw. One's a fraud. The real me is highlighted. Not sure if that's what you all see on your end. But this is me. It's highlighted, my beautiful shining pearly yellows. And here's this Connor McGee here. All right, that's just a screenshot. And Heritage Wealth Planning. And I don't have a Cash App. I don't have a WhatsApp. I'll never give you my friggin' phone number on here. So just FYI, don't feed the trolls. All right, so let's go back. All right, so tonight what I want to talk about, and I know people say, oh, ARK, but I want to go over some comments here too about the ARK video while we're waiting for people to come on. Big fan, first time, long time, right on. Yeah, I never had allergies before, Don, but maybe I do. I don't know. Right on, Kim. You made an appointment with Amar. Right on. Amar had a guy posted on his YouTube channel. You shouldn't align yourself with Josh Scanlon. His far right-wing, alt-right views are a threat to democracy, and you're just hurting yourself. He's just, basically he's using your expertise to make himself look good. And I said, Amar, look, I get it, man. I mean, you live in California. I live here in Georgia. But just be advised, I'm not afraid to be political. I frankly don't care. But, your business is at stake. And if people are afraid to align with you because you're with me, that's something you got to consider. So anyway, just FYI, if canceled, we're canceling literally, we're canceling Dr. Seuss. I think Pulverizer said about Dr. Seuss. That's what it was. Dr. Seuss, a big commie sympathizer. He was a big lefty. I know that for a fact. And yeah, he's being canceled. This is the thing with the Bolsheviks. They don't stop at the right. They go to their own. They eat their own. They can't help it. Is what they do. And this, what was the thing with a frog was on the back of a scorpion over a lake or something like that, and the scorpion's like, just get on my back, frog. I won't stab you. I'll get you from point A to point B. And the frog's like, you sure you're a scorpion? The scorpion said, yeah, no, I can. I promise. Halfway through the lake, the scorpion zapped him. And the frog said, dude, what the hell? The scorpion said, well, I'm a scorpion. That's what I do. What Bolsheviks do is they kill, is what they want to do. They kill without mercy. That's what they do. So when you see these Bolsheviks out there, you've got to put them in their place, man, because these guys are evil. So anyway, some guys say, Amar, Josh's right-wing views are a threat to democracy. It's like, dude, oh, God. I'm just embarrassed for snowflakes. It's embarrassed. All right, so what do I want to do here? Oh, I want to go. Oh, that's what I want to do. All right, bear with me just a second. We're going to go to here. I want to go to, because I can guarantee people like, all right, so here's my, let me show you what I'm doing here. We're going to go to StreamYard. We're going to go here, share, go to share screen. We're going to hit Chrome right there. All right, so here's my video on Cathie Wood here. Look, I'm no antipathy or anything like that. I just don't care. What I'm saying, though, I've been in this business a long time, and you can see these same things happening time and time and time again. So I want to start with the comments that we got on my video here, and it's the same stuff over and over and over again. And if you've been around long enough, you see it's the Dutch tulip mania in full view here with the ARK, with the Bitcoin stuff. It's the same thing, man. Anyway, right here. So here's one. Cathie has lots of dips to ARK in a multi-year period of beating VTI every year. Really? Huh, interesting. Every single year, ... I think she'll be okay. The scoreboard speaks for itself. Yeah, and let's look at that. So I said, okay, let's back test. We're going to back test, what was this right here? ARK against, let's just back test it against VTI. All right, I had it against the growth fund, but we'll just back test it against VTI. We'll get analyzed portfolio. And ARK's only been around for 2015, so we have 6 years, not much. All right, so what we'll see here is we have, so, I mean, not much it has beaten the S&P, the VTI every single year except for this one right here, but 3.75 negative is up 87. It was up 3.5, up 35, up 152, and it was up so far this year 4.72 at the end of February. So we have, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. What does? Oh wait, you can't see that, can you? Hold on, I gotta show that to you. Hold on just a second. All right, let me show you. I didn't show you the right screen. I guess I'm gonna share. I wonder if it'll let me share. Hold on a second. Right there. So we're gonna. I forgot. I gotta click on that. Anyway, so here we go. So I want to. All right. So pardon me. I keep forgetting. I gotta share this other screen with you, and I gotta make sure I don't have a comment in there too. So I'm looking at right here. His ARK goes back to 2015 according to Portfolio Visualizer, and here's VTI, the total stock index. All right. So it goes back to January 2015. So we got 7. Well, actually, not even 7 years. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is going into our 7th year. All right, so the reason I point that to your attention, most market cycles go 7 years. All right, that's most people in this business recognize a real market cycle is about 7 years. All right, and so what we're in here is now the last 5 essentially have been a growth-oriented cycle. And anyway, so this is against VTI. So Cathie Wood has beaten VTI 5 of the 6 years. So far this year, as of, certainly as of year to date, it hasn't been so. But, we can kind of scratch 2021. Anyway, but I don't just want to look at VTI. I want to look at VUG. That's a Vanguard large cap growth index, all right, because growth is going to have more of the high flyers. VTI is going to be weighed down to some regard by the value stocks. All right, so let's look at VUG has beaten Cathie Wood 1. That's about even Steven. 1, 2. So VUG is about 2 wins. We're going to call that a tie. It's about 2, 2, and 2. So 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties for Cathie Wood for the last 6 years. And that's because it's the growth-oriented stuff. That is, there you go. The numbers speak for themselves. All right. So again, this is only 2 months into 2021. So what this guy said was that, let me go back to this real quick. Frank, I don't even care, but I'm going to show you something here. What this guy said, when we go back to, is that Cathie Wood has beaten VTI every single year. Well, it hasn't. It just hasn't. But we even 5-1. It's not bad. It's just a market cycle of 7 years of a typical market cycle. And what I'm trying to say is, dude, I sit there and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's the same old thing. It has done this for the last couple of years, thus it will do that. And that is chasing performance, which is what we're going to talk about here. So I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into it. This guy, Lola to you, says, I want an actual bear market. There are so many people who think they're geniuses because they made a profit in a bull market. I 100% agree with that. Just because you made a profit in a bull market doesn't make you a genius. But I also want to, we're going to come back. I want to show you guys something else too. Here's my man Al. Count me into Cathie Woods, but for different reasons. And the flavor of the day, she represents millennial thinking and behavior. She embodies a leading demographical generation has defined a new paradigm for value based on innovation. Oh man. Okay. All right. So I chuckle at that because it's just all right. All right, let's see. I own ARKK and has done very well this past year, but it's been plunging with a slight increase in rates. Okay. She uses her holdings in highly liquid names as cash. She's using Apple as cash. That's kind of scary. All right. My man Arnold says that Cathie isn't so attractive. I thought she's attractive. All right, so here's what I said here. Azim says, time to put more in on the dips. And then I said, this is where we got this guy right here. I said, what money? And I was going to do a separate video on this today. And I said, I'm just going to do this on this right now. What money can you buy on the dips? Does that mean you've been holding cash on the side? Or are you going to do like someone said about Cathie? Let's see. Hold on a second. I think who said it here? Someone said on Cathie is that that she is selling positions in order to double down on some positions, because Cathie said she's going to double down on some positions. And someone on the comments, I thought it was someone right here. No, who was it? Was it him? Was it my man Harry? Someone said I can't remember. But anyway, on the comments, there's a great comment, said she's liquidating some of her other positions to buy on the dips, and that's friggin' scary. That's scary to liquidate other positions to buy on the dips. All right, because my man here says time to put more on the dips. I'm like, well, what money? That means you had either had cash on the side, or how else are you going to buy on the dips? I don't know. So what I want to do here is we're going to stop screen. Oh, hold on a second. All right, bear with me just a second. I forgot to send this email off to folks that were on this live stream. As you can see, I'm not a marketing genius when it comes to letting people know I'm going to be going live. I just kind of get a hair in my butt, and I said, let me go live, and then I put it on. All right, so let's go. Oops, hold on. Oh, man. All right, cool. All right, so let me just go back to make sure. There we go. All right. So the issue is when you're buying on the dips, that means you have to have cash on the side. If you don't have cash on the side, what are you doing? You're selling positions. All right. So what I want to do here, let's just, oh, thank you, Kim. Kim says, did I monetize this video? No, I did not. So a star for you, Kim. Thank you. This is what happens when your freaking brain is just, it's like, yeah, I forgot to monetize the video. Oh, yeah. I forgot to do that the other day with the Mars too. It's like, because I get this idea and I said, oh, I just got to run with it. There's a good thing and a bad thing about having a freaking brain that just runs all over the place, is that you get these freaking, you know, these ideas in your head, and then you start going down the road with them, and it's like, it's boring. You move on. Yeah, it's frustrating because you're like, if I could just focus on this one thing, I could get it done. It'd be good. But I always forget to. So anyway, I'm not very organized. My wife is quite organized. I don't know how she does it, man. I mean, we get 4 kids she's taking care of with the freaking sports events, school events, talking to teachers, working full time, dealing with this guy right here. For the love of me, I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she doesn't start freaking punching people in the neck, because I'd be like, dude, people. And then she's got she takes care of tennis. She's like the team captain or team coach, the team mom for tennis for nuts. All right, so what we're gonna do here. Yeah, you gotta get that YouTube, sweet YouTube. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that. All right. So we're gonna put monetize here, and then we're gonna hit the prospectus. Oh no, what we're gonna do first, we're gonna hit this article. Hey, Ross, you getting snow up there? How's the weather in PEI? All right, cool. All right, so let's make sure we monetize this puppy. Hold on just a second. Let's get it on. You made me feel like dancing. Gonna dance the night away. Don't care what you say. All right, cool. All right, good. So what I want to do here is, all right. So let's get rid of this comments, because I always forget. All right. So what I want to do is we're going to go to this article here, and man, I cannot tell you how I chuckle at this. All right. So we're going to go to this. Let's make sure y'all can see that. Top of the morning to you. Some Deer Park triple berry. All right. So this is Cathie Wood's ARKK Invest. There we go. Snaps back with near record inflows following a week of outflows amid tech decline. All right. And so here's Dateline just 2 days ago. All right. So she's pretty. And I don't get it. I mean, she looks all right to me. Her ARKK Invest bounced back from record outflows last week with near record inflows. It saw 464 million in inflows on Friday, representing the second biggest days of inflows on record. She has stuck to her high growth strategy, selling shares of large cap names like Apple and Amazon to fund purchase of higher risk stocks like Tesla. Interesting. So there was one of you guys, or maybe I just read it here. I think someone told me that, but she's selling Apple and Amazon, her more liquid ones, to fund purchases of higher risk stocks like Tesla. That's interesting. We're going to dive into this a little bit. Investors aren't abandoning her, even following a volatile week. The ARKK Innovation ETF showed record near inflows of 465 in 1 day, signaling investors willing to buy near the 20% dip in the ETF. The best days of inflows was in January, 600 million. So in 1 day, 2 days, she brought over $1 billion. I don't know how much she lost. I don't know, but that's pretty interesting for me. Altogether, ARKK shed about $5 billion in assets under management last week, which is just a fraction of the firm's more than $60 billion. All right. So I don't know, like, if people just pulled the money. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, to get all that, so I want to share with you guys something. We're going to go to the prospectus. Oops, that's right here. Oh, I always forget. So we're going to go to the prospectus, and we're going to say, right there. And this is interesting. And I want to bring this up a little bit. All right. Hey, you coming in too, babe? Oh, come on. You are what? Thanks, buddy. Here's old Lily. You want to say hi to the camera? Huh? So, Liam, how are you going to get? Well, Pablo. Jeez Louise. I know. So Liam's got. We did not invest Liam's $500 yet into the NASDAQ.
That didn't work? Oh, wait.
We haven't done it yet, which is good because NASDAQ has fallen. It's dropped in value. So do you want to, Liam, would you rather buy a stock when the price is low or high?
Didn't you say like low?
Yes. I said what exactly?
I don't know. Well, like, I don't know. Is this how it works? Like when it's low, it goes back up and then you gain more money?
Yeah. So what does that mean? That means you buy
low stocks.
You buy low and sell
high.
Hey, buy low and sell high. Watch everybody. Child abuse. Boom, 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 boom. Good job. So what's that?
Wow.
I was gonna give a piggy twister. Piggy twister is like the old nipple. What do they call them? Nipple things. You can buy low and sell high. So we didn't. And this is one of the things about buying stocks, man, or ETFs. Like you're always, oh, should I buy now or wait a day? Should I buy now or wait a day? That's why I like mutual funds. Just let the fun do it. The less you think about it, the less you're like, oh my god. Because I put $500 into a custodial account for old Lily, and I was like, dude, all right, we got to buy something. And we were thinking about it last week. We had to wait for the money to settle, and that just totally, we just forgot about it. Anyway, long story short, now it's like, all right, should we buy it tomorrow at the market open, or should we wait for it to go down? Or maybe it'll go up. I don't know. Who wants to deal with that crap, man? Just freaking have the mutual fund do it because it's going to place the order at the end of market and you're just done with it. You have to, you can cancel, but no one thinks like that with mutual funds. With just individual positions, even on $500, you're like, oh man, all right. Whoa! Someone gave me 25 smackers. Holy crap! Holy Gordon Thorne. I don't care what Mrs. Thorne says about old Gordon. He's all right by me. All right, so I want to show you the prospectus. Oh, by the way, be with your kids, man. Yeah, I tell you, just there's no excuse for. Look, I know everyone's got a situation, but a man who doesn't want to be with his boys, I just don't get. And girls need their dads too. Girls probably need it more than boys. But boys need a dad because, let's just put it this way. My wife wears the pants in this household, except when, S hits the fan. Then I got to wear the pants. And we had a little bit of issue with a teenage boy, not him, his brother, the other day where he was being a stinker to my wife. And, normally I'm the laid back one. I'm like, what? I just don't really care all that much. I say, yeah, whatever. But my wife is usually the one who's up their butts. Again, I don't know how she does it. But a little bit of disrespect towards the old ball and chain there, that can't be put up with. So I had to get in his face. He's even a little bit taller than me now, even though he's only in 8th grade, that rat think. But I'm still, I can be moody if I need to be. And I was kind of laughing inside because I was like, dude, you better not ever disrespect your mother again. It's gonna be lights out. Can't be doing that. But anyway, that's what a dad's there for. To freaking bring the wallop down when a boy needs a wallop, that's for sure. All right, so let's go look at the prospectus again. Share screen. Anyway, that's old Liam. He's all right. Should I keep him? I think I'll keep him. All right, so I want to. Oh man, see, I love this stuff. I don't know why I do. I'm freaking such a loser, but I just. All right. So net asset value is the price per share, and we can see July 31st, 2020 is at $48 at the beginning, $48 a share. So it's basically doubled. It's about gone up 250% since inception. What is ARK doing now? And again, please, I'm not trying to pick on ARK here, man. It's just fun. This is what you got to do here. So we're going to look at ARK and we're going to say, what is the price per share now? I have no idea. 108. Oh, is this ARK? What is this? Yeah, there it is. So is that the year ending 2020? Well, that's the issue price right there. All right, let's keep going down. Right there, market value. I'm sorry, market value. Excuse me. All right, so check this out. So it started at 20. It ended July 31st, 2020 at 80, and now it's at 118. So from July, it's up 50% from July 31st till to close of business today. It was at 160. It had doubled from July 30th till just like freaking 5 days ago. Nuts. Interestingly enough, net unrealized gain on investments right there. Now that's net realized and unrealized. Look at that. That's all appreciation. I mean, there's a significant appreciation, if that makes sense. That's kind of concerning. So it started at 20. It's at basically 118 right now? 118. So you've made some serious bank in this fund. That's just a fact. That should tell you one thing only. It's time to freaking take your gains and run. All right. So anyway, total return at net asset value right here at market value. So it made total return at, again, this is the year ending July 30th, 66%. Total return for their fiscal year, 52%, 43%, 5%, a half 1%, 12%. I mean, those are solid numbers. I'm not going to lie about the solid numbers, but check this out. All right. So we got the net assets. We had $7 million to start. So they got some financing money from some rich guy for $7 million bucks. First year didn't make that much money. Right here, where's the returns here? The first year right here. So the first year made 4.9, and we take our trusty calculator and we say 7,020 times 1.049 equals, so basically 7,020 times 1.049. It didn't. So basically, it got about another 2 million of assets from year 1 to year 2. I hope that makes sense. So we take we take the amount of money we started with, which is basically, I mean, I can't say it's 7 million, but this is the end of the period. We have the amount of money we made in the portfolio, and then we ended this year right here. So the difference between 7.02 million and 4.9%, that's 7.36 million. I hope this makes sense. 7.36 million, but they also, Cathie Woods received $2 million roughly in new money coming in. You get that? So what's our starting point? We made 4.9. What's our ending point? The ending point is the new money we have coming in. All right, so now we have 9.27 million, 9,271. We made 43% that next year times 1.4372. So 13 million is what this times the performance would have given us in terms of net asset value. But we got 85 million. So Cathie Woods had 62 million. Yeah, 62 million of new money coming in. All right. So what we have, I'm getting my thing here. So we have 62 million in year. Oops. I'm telling you, I've seen this story so many times. It's crazy. What we have? We had 2 million of new assets in year 1, 62 million year 2. All right. So 85 million, and it made 52%. All right, so we take our 85,813 times 1.5238%. We're at 130. Let's see. Oh boy, I'm gonna screw this up. So we're at we're at $130 million of performance money, and we have 1.17 billion at the end of the cycle. So that's basically 800 million in year 3. All right. All right. So we ended the year at 1.17 billion, 1170. Times we made 12% here. That's we have 1.3. We basically added another 2 million or so. But we have 1.731 billion. So we had another, that's 400 million that came in at the end of that year. Year 4. All right, so it makes sense in just a second. All right, so we have 1.731 billion, $1.731 billion in assets at the end of that fiscal year. We made 66%. We have $2.8 billion in total assets. We added another $3.5 billion billion in year 5. All right. So now, so far this year, from the end of the quarter, the end of the year, July 2021, July 31st, 2020 till today, the price per share is 118. I don't know what the total assets are for Cathie's portfolio. I'm sure we could find it. But anyway, that's some serious flipping money flowing into this. Notice, when does it flow in? Did it flow in here? No. If the amount of money that flew in was after these returns right here. That's performance chasing. It happens all the flipping time. Performance chasing. They're following the performance of the fund. And as such, all right, so anyway, I want to point, so anyway, let me stop for a second and see what you guys are saying here. So performance chasing says, I hope you all can see this, but again, we added $2 million to cash in year 1 of new investments, $62 million in year 2, $800 million in year 3, $400 million in year 4, $3.5 billion in year 5. I wonder if we can find out. Bear with me just a second. What is the ARK? How much does it got in assets right now? It's got $60 billion in assets right now. All right, so they've $60 billion. I mean, look, how much money is flowing into this thing, man? I don't get it. Anyway, I get it. It's had a freaking. It went from 8. It's double its money. So if it finished at 14, it's at 14 billion. Then is as high as about, we'll just say 20 billion. It's brought in just billions of dollars, man. No, that's what's happening here. That's already in the perspective. So let me show you what Pulverizer is saying. It's a good point. So let's go to share. We're going to go to Chrome, and I want to show the prospectus. All right, let me make sure I'm still here. So what Pulverizer is saying is there's more money going into buying the shares that Cathie owns. That's reflected here in the performance. That's not reflected in the asset base. All right, the more money going in is driving the performance, which increases the asset base. But that itself doesn't account for the $3.5 billion that came in the fiscal year from 2019 to 2020. That only accounts for, that accounts for about two. So the increase in going from 1.7 million to 66, up 66%, does not account for the jump from 1.7 million to 1.7 billion to 6.1 billion. That accounts for some of it, that increase in share price of these stocks, but it doesn't account for the entirety, not even close. In fact, it accounts for less than the increase because that's just the money flowing in there. All right, so I don't know if we have a holdings list. Let's see if we got, one of the things about a prospectus that's fun is you can actually see the holdings. And I love looking at prospectuses. They're a little bit older. Let's see. So we're going to go to, I want to look at because they'll show you their, all right, we want to look at price tax costs. I want to look at financial highlights, premium discount information. And let's look at page 87. I don't know if that's going to be the tax consequence. Let's see. I don't think that's going to be it. I want to see what their, let's just go down, portfolio holdings. All right, there, portfolio holdings. All right, sweet. Let's go to portfolio holdings and see what that shows us. It's 80. Oh man. Nope. I was hoping to show us their basic cost basis. Shoot. Let me make this smaller. And I wonder can I make it on both pages here? I want to see if they give us a basis for cost. Nope. That's not what I'm looking for. Hold on just a second, amigos. That means friends in Spanish, in case you don't know, like me, the multilingual. Shoot. All right. They gotta have the, I wonder if it's the, Bear with me just a second. I'm looking for a table. I don't think that's it. No. I just want to see their unrealized gains, and I guess they're not showing the holdings. All right. Will that be under statement of additional information? All right, so let me get off here real quick. I'm gonna hang up on that screen real quick. I'm gonna go to ARKK statement of additional. It's additional information. Man, what's it called? Innovation. Statement of additional information. I could have sworn that's what it's called. Hold on just a second, my friends. Statement of additional information. All right, here we go. Sweet. So we'll see if we can't find something here. And we're going to share. Oh, man, is that a mosquito bug? Oh, it's a fly. All right. SAI. Okay, statement of additional information. Let's see if this shows us what we're looking for. Okay. Capital stock and shareholder reports, financial statements. That might be it. Portfolio holdings. All right, let's just go through this real quick. I'm looking for a table that'll give us a cost basis of most of the shares that we got in here. That's not it. Anyway, the point being, okay. All right, that's just the executives. Hold on. Hold on. All right, I don't want that. I want to see the freaking holdings. And Cathie's only got like 60 stocks, and I call her Cathie because we're tight. She doesn't have that many stocks in there, so that's good. All right, you can find it someplace. If any of y'all find a link, put the link in the comment section here. Obviously, I didn't come prepared for that. Anyway, I have a sneaky suspicion she has huge unrealized gains in here. All right, so if she has big unrealized gains, I wonder if we can do holdings. Hold on a second. ARKK holdings. All right, let's do something here real quick. We're gonna try. Let's go to Schwab. Bear with me just a second, my friends. I'm gonna go to Schwab. I'm gonna put in ARKK, and we're gonna see what the Schwabi ARKK. Gotta log in apparently, and I just changed my passwords. So just FYI, if you're trying to steal my info, we just changed passwords. All right, there we go. So here's the ARK. All right, so let's go to bring you guys back. Go to share screen. All right, cool. So here's ARK. There's a prospectus. All right. We are looking for unrealized gains, in particularly on let's go to holdings in. Because remember, okay, I don't know. Damn. Anyway, she's selling Amazon and Apple to buy up more Tesla and some of the other things she wants. Risk and tax. I love Schwab's website. Schwab is by far and away the best. I'm just telling you right now. Geez, man. I was hoping to tell us the unrealized gains in here. It might someplace. I don't know. Let's just look at portfolio. It's too bad. It's here someplace. I just, damn. That's frustrating. All right. So anyway, sales growth. Yeah. All right. So you think about it, where I'm going with this, if she is selling, I know it's an ETF, and I'm assuming the capital gains, unlike Vanguard, and I think it's Eaton Vance who got the patent on capital gains not being distributed to the shareholders. If she's selling Apple and Amazon, I assure you they're trading at a pretty sneaky premium, which means there's a lot of capital gains distributions that are going to come down the pike. In fact, I wonder how many. Let's take a look on distributions. Let's actually bear with me just a second. Let's see the distributions on old ARK. So we're going to go to distributions. Let's take a look. What kind of distributions do we have? I have no idea. So we had a short term, we had income of $2 a share. That's not so bad. Capital, long-term capital gain in 2018 of $1. That's not, well, $1 on 36 bucks. That's not so bad. So obviously this is not an ETF that has that patent that Vanguard does. It has to give you the short-term, the capital gains as for taxable income to you. If she is selling Amazon and Apple, there's got to be a huge distribution coming down the pike, man. There's no way those things aren't way. I mean, oh my goodness. So that's another. I mean, that's another thing with portfolios that have high turnovers. All right, so let's look at something else. All right, so again, look, man, I want to show you guys something. 2010 CGM focus. All right, so I want to show you guys something. Share screen. A guy named Ken Hebner had run the CGM Focus Fund for a long time. And we're going to look at this Forbes honor roll by a guy named William Barrett. In my 37 years at Forbes as producing its honor roll of outstanding performance, we've rarely seen a change like this here. Only one of the 10 funds on last year's list survived for this one. The return was a smallish one called the No Load Bruce Fund. I don't know anything about it. All right, but I want to look at right here. Tops this year by our reckoning, CGM Focus Fund, which has been run for a dozen years by the manic Ken Hebner. Despite turning over his portfolio 5 times last year and running up big tax and trading commissions in the process, his no load fund averaged 15.1% a year. All right, 10 grand put in a CGM in 1998 with a growing to 45,000 after taxes. Nah, so Ken, look at that right there. 10 grand. That was the #1 fund for the decade for the aughts, and the aughts were horrible. Ken Hebner. And actually, it's pretty interesting because there's an article, you can look him up, but and let's see if we can find it. He had all, oh man, there's a great article on Ken CGM Focus Fund. There was a great article on Hebner where all the money was coming in after he had put up huge numbers. I'm not sure I can be able to find it. Okay, #1. It's like in 2007 or something like that. Okay, so let's, I'm not going to find it. Let's go to CGMFX, and we're going to share. Stop this, and we're going to share CGM. We're going to go to Portfolio Visualizer. I want to show you guys CGMFX. All right, so let's just compare CGM, and we'll just put S&P 500. All right, so we're going to go back to 2000 to 2010, I think. All right. So let's compare the two. I'm telling you, man, it's, and I'll share a couple other funds too. All right, so you see, let's see here. So here's compounded annual growth rate for Ken Hebner, 17.8% a year in that decade. 17. 0.8% a year. 10,000 would have, whatever the next thing after quintupled was $60,000, returned 600% in those 10 years. S&P 500 gave you all 32 basis points compounded annual growth rate. All right, so in fact, if you go right here at the end of 2000 and basically the middle of 2008, $10,000 invested in Ken Hebner would have given you $106,000. And in fact, if we go to our annual returns right there, 2007, this was the year right there. All the money started flowing into Ken Hebner. It's crazy. He had a couple good years here, but remember, value stocks did fine, and this not quite as well as 53, 47, 66. This was a big year. 80% when the market was from October to the end of October, the market was just getting crushed. Anyway, this was the year. So money was flowing, don't get me wrong, but the value stocks did okay here. So a lot of people say, but still the money, look at 3 of the first 4 years of the decade, of the aughts. 53, 47, 66. That remind you of anything? So the money was flowing. If I don't feel like showing it, but you can find the net asset value of all the funds flowing in there. Were they flowing in here? Nope. Here? Nope. Maybe a little bit here. Certainly here, though. And then certainly here. Now, let's see what old Ken Hebner has done from 2010 to 2021. All right. I literally have no idea. So I hope I don't embarrass myself. I have a sneaky suspicion I won't. But let's see here. So Ken Hebner, 2010, here he is. So he is down. How much did we invest in this guy? We invested $10,000, and he has averaged 0.5% compounded annual growth rate over the last 10 years. So basically, all these, and then he had a max drawdown of 63%. Look at 63% max drawdown, and that was after 2008. Boink. He just got crushed from 2018 to 2020, man. Presumably, he still runs the fund. I don't know. But did you see how that works? And you think he's the only guy? No, it's not. So we're going to go back. It's the same story over and over and over again. So what do you think happens? People say, I'm getting out of Ken Hebner. He's too stupid. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm going to go to Cathie Wood. But they're only going to Cathie Wood after they hear about her. Why they hear about her? Because she's putting numbers up. All right, so let's do part 2 of this. We're going to go to LMBTX, Leg Mason Value Trust. It's called ClearBridge. And Bill Miller had beaten the S&P 500 until 2005. So from I guess it was 1990. I think it was 1990 to 2005, if memory serves. All right, so here's the Leg Mason Value Trust, old Bill Miller, and check this out. And he had a pretty high fee. All right, so you can see Bill Miller is portfolio 1. So $10,000 invested in Bill Miller in 1990 was worth $85,000 in 2005. All right, but check this out. Every single year, I guess it started in 1991. He beat the S&P 500 every single year. And even he said it was luck. Right here, he beat the S&P 500 every single year. He was the mutual fund's mutual fund manager. He was the top dog. And I actually like Bill Miller. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Cathie Wood, actually. He likes the Aspen Institute and just, it's like a Rick Edelman wannabe guy, like a futurist. And what I say is Rick Edelman wants to be like Bill Miller, not Bill Miller like Rick Edelman. But the Aspen Institute, that's all the globalist cabal. They all go there. But he's pretty big interested in the stocks that what Cathie Wood would be buying, and I imagine he has owned a lot of the same things. All right, but watch what happens from 2006. Oops, we're gonna go to 2006. And I'm just going to go to 2011 just to show you. It might even be worse than that. I can't remember. But let's just go 2006 to 2011. And Bill Miller couldn't catch a cold at this stage because he was getting smoked. 2006 to 2011, he lost 7.18% a year from 2006 to 2011. And so $10,000 invested At one point, at the end of those 5 years, it was down to $6,000. No one wanted literally. So literally in 18 months' time, I still have it. I used to keep the Morningstar printout. Bill Miller is a 5-star rated fund at the end of 2005. Literally 18 months later, he's a 2-star rated fund, maybe even a 1-star rated fund. So what, he started smoking crack? I mean, what happened? What happened to Bill Miller? I mean, how come everyone hated him? I don't know what he's done lately. I don't even know if he still runs the fund. I think he does. Let's take a look. So what has he been doing? I bet he's probably done pretty well the last couple of years. We shall see. Yeah, no, he hasn't. That's no, that's weird. Okay, so he's still sucking wind. Look at that. So basically, he just got lucky. He even admitted that he got lucky and beating the S&P 500. But I mean, he's been he's lost the S&P 500 almost every year since. He has one win there. One win. He's at 3. That's not a full year. So over the last 15 years, he's beat the S&P 500 twice. So you think money went into him after 2005? Oh, hells yeah, it did. All right, let's do one more. We're going to look at from 1998, 99 to 2010. We're going to look at USAGX. All right. We're going to look at USAGX, USA Precious Metals and Gold. It was the Precious Metals and Minerals Fund, the top performing fund in the 10 years of that decade, the top performing fund. Look at this. 24.1% compounded annual growth rate. 24.1%. USAGX. 24.11. I don't even have to do it by calculator. So if you started with $10,000, by the end of 10 years, you were at 133, amigos. If you start with $10,000, the S&P 500, you were at 12. Look at some of these returns. 71, 67. Obama gets elected. 62, because remember, Obama's going to bring socialism. I thought so too. I never bought this fund, but the same thing we all did. If you're on the right, you're like, Obama's going to bring socialism. We're going to be Venezuela, Hugo Chavez. 31, 67, 74. When do you think money starts flowing to, I forgot the guy's name who runs it. Can't remember his name. When do you think money starts flowing to this guy? Right here. Boink. And people, 39, 43. Not even so much there. It started flowing right there after the first year of Obama. I'm telling you right now. True story. I had a guy I inherited. When I moved to Georgia, there's a guy who's working with a guy from South Carolina down here. And my guy left USA, so I had to kind of take him over as a client. He had like $1 million. He put $1 million in the Gold and Precious Metals Fund in like 2009 or so. I can't remember. It was right after Obama. A big, he just could not stand Obama. Big right-wing guy. Obama's going to sell us all, blah, blah, blah. $1 million he put into gold because everybody and their mom were talking about inflation and gold was going to be the hedge. Of course, gold isn't a hedge against inflation. It's not a hedge against inflation. It's just not a hedge against inflation. Inflation happens. Gold doesn't go up. It doesn't work like that. But anyway, so let's take a look what happened. So now we're going to go to 2011. You know where this is going, right? 2011 to 2000. We'll just say 2020. It's freaking ugly, man. Gold, blue, $10,000 invest in the Gold and Precious Metals Fund. It's worth $5,000 now. Can you believe that? $5,000. Whereas the S&P 500 is worth $36,000. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just anyway. So this guy, I think he put his money in 2000, beginning of 2010. Is my understanding. I didn't have him as a client at that point, but if memory serves, I think he didn't do that bad. But like $1 million, I just remember it's down to like $250,000 at one point. And I was like, dude, he's like, well, we've got killed too much now. Why move now? Yeah. I was like, because the market doesn't know when you bought it. The market doesn't know if you're up or down. It doesn't know. Why buy now? Because you just missed all this right here. Now, we didn't know that was going to happen, but he was like, it was a sunk cost. And this is the emotional train wreck that a lot of investors are in. I'm already down. Might as well let it ride to see if I get back to even. It's freaking stupid. The market doesn't care what you bought it at. The market cares what the future is going to be, man. Oh, horrible. Anyway, it's the same freaking story. So let's go back to ARK. I'm telling you, it's the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, if you are betting all your freaking bank on these companies, I'm telling you, man, you're making a horrific mistake. You are. All right, so we got ARK. We got 152, and we got 87. Now, 152 is better than any of those funds we've shown so far. I'll grant you that. If you think this is common, you're a fool, man. If you think that's going to continue to happen, you're nuts. You're nuts. And if you're betting your money on these, you're betting. You're a betting person. And I'm telling you, man, there's so many freaking stories of this kind of crap happening where people lost their. Oh, I forgot to put the thing on. Hold on a second. Let me get the thing back on. There we go. All right. So I did ARK, and we said, well, that last year you made 152% of your money, where the S&P 500 was up a nice 18.25. So you have 87.34, you have a nice 35%, and 152%. But Tesla's got the power bank or the battery wall. That's freaking nuts. You got to do what you got to do. I'm just telling you right now, only a rookie doesn't see what the hell's going on here, because a rookie just gets so inundated with the hype, and they say, "Look at that!" And I just look at the comments. I just sitting there thinking, I'm just looking at these. I mean, it's not even the internet bubble of the late 1990s. It's kind of like that, because that was the same. It was the same. Actually, let's look at the what was that called? Let's look at one last one here. There used to be something called the Internet Fund. Let's see if we can't find it. The Internet Fund. See if we can't find the ticker. That's right. JAMFX. Is that it? JAMFX. JAMFX. I can't remember if that's it. So we're going to look. JAMFX. Let's see if that's it. JAMFX. That might be a new one. I don't know. We'll see if that's the old Internet Fund. No. I'll share this with you. Right here. I can't remember, but this must be the same fund. I don't know. Here's $10,000 invested in 2000, right when the bubble was popping. Now remember, the bubble didn't pop for every stock. It didn't. What caused the stock market to get really crushed was 9/11. The bubble only popped on NASDAQ. So NASDAQ broke 5,007, I think, on March 3rd of 2000. March 6th of 2000, something like that. I got so many papers on that. I just got and then it just got kaput. But I mean, the first quarter, the NASDAQ was doing fine, chugging along. Internet Fund comes out, $10,000 invested, is sitting at $931. Why did he bring that fund out? Because everybody and their mom were freaking making bank on internet stuff. And the internet did change the world. It did. Absolutely. The internet did change the world. We would not be sitting here today if it were not for the internet and Google and Amazon and Cisco, all these companies. Doesn't mean they changed the world. Doesn't mean their stock was good. And all of the other companies that came and went in the interim. And again, some of those companies are kaput. And there's also something called survivor bias. A lot of those companies that went kaput, they're not even included in performance numbers anymore. That's called survivor bias, which is actually freaking horrible. But anyway, long story short, these companies did change the world. They did, without question, for the better, in my opinion. The issue is that a lot of those companies still went kaput while they were changing the world, and you lost your shirt. Look at that. So now you're back to $20,000 at the end of 20 years later, and no one's kept in there. I'm just telling you right there. But now look at that guy, man. He made freaking, this guy made bank, the internet fund. He made, well, I guess it wasn't bank. Was he? He went from, internet. Yeah, he did. This internet fund was up 123% in 2020. Who does that remind you of? And he was up 100% in 2003. But who's that remind you of? 123% in 2020. Does that sound like anybody we know? Sure it does. If you want to speculate, that's fine. It's like when I bought, $5,000 of ExxonMobil. That's a speculation. I think my ExxonMobil stock has actually done quite well, which is nuts because I always get killed on stock. But that was a speculation, man. I just bought it for the dividend yield. And is that 58? You kidding? I bought at 40. I'm up 50% in 6 months time, and I got a dividend on top of that. Man, don't waste your freaking money with these fly-by-night guys. And it doesn't mean they're not good. They're not going to change the world. It just means this stuff comes and goes. No one knows Ken Hebner anymore. No one knows Bill Miller. Well, at least the mainstream media. I can't remember the name of the guy who runs the internet. I want to say it's John. Not the internet fund, the USA Gold and Precious Metals. I want to say it's Johnson, but I can't remember. I could have sworn it's like Dan Johnson or something like that. I can't remember. You just got to be diversified. And the diversified says, all right, I will never be where people are freaking toasting me on Wall Street. I'll never be that guy. But I'll never have leprosy either. I'm telling you. Remember, Bill Miller, I guarantee, dude, if Bill Miller came and said, hey, Josh, I want to date one of your daughters, I say, get the hell out of here, you loser. Whereas 2 years before, I'd be like, take her. You see what I'm saying? I'm being facetious for, the sexist. It's joking around. But I'm telling you, man, Bill Miller, he could not catch a cab. He could not catch a cold. No one wanted to talk to him. Probably wearing 5-day-old underwear. And it's just like, dude, you got change, buddy. And, pigeons were pooping on him and stuff like that. And he hasn't come back. The same with the USA Gold and Precious Metals. Same with Kevin Hebner. I mean, we can look at Fidelity Magellan. Peter Lynch, he just happened to catch a wave, kind of like Cathie Wood. And then they had Jeffrey Vinnick took over Peter Lynch's Magellan, and another guy, Bob Stinsky or Stransky. Anyway, after Peter Lynch left, they had Jeffrey Vinnick and I got his name in my face right there, took over Fidelity Magellan. They couldn't keep up. Now, there's a couple of things, my friends. The reason some of these guys can't keep up is because the easy money is made when no one knows who you are. And you have very few assets to deploy to very few stocks. This is why Vanguard is such a wonderful company. They close their funds out before they get too big. I remember PrimeCap. That was closed out when I was working at Vanguard. I think they opened it a couple of times since, but PrimeCap, and then the folks who ran PrimeCap actually opened the Vanguard Capital Opportunity Fund to mimic PrimeCap to some regard, a little bit more aggressive. And I had bought that when it first came out in 98, 99, something like that, because PrimeCap was closed because they said once you get too big, you're not efficient use of the money the investors are giving you. Now you're going down into the minor leagues at that point. So Cathie Woods probably has 30 stocks that she loves, but now she has all this cash. She can't just sit it on the cash. She can't. I mean, she's got all this money coming in. She has to do something with it. So now she's saying, okay, here's my top 5. Here's my next 5. Now I got more money coming in. There's my next 5. It's just the nature of the beast, which is what makes Vanguard remarkable. They say, hey, PrimeCap folks, you can't take any more assets from new investors. We're going to lock you out because we can only have so much money to work with, and we're going to shut out new investors because we don't want you buying your AA teams stocks. We want you to keep in your freaking top 5. Your Bill Russells, Will Chamberlain's. Will Chamberlain, he averaged like 28 rebounds a game, like in 1959 or something like that. Oh, freaking Will Chamberlain. That guy's obviously he had some issues, some innuendos with an addiction, but the dude, 28 rebounds, nuts. I think the Worm averaged like 21. Dennis Rodman, crazy. That was before he was all tat. I tell you, the reason everyone's doing tattoos is because Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman led to Allen Iverson, and then once Allen Iverson had all the tats, all the cool kids started getting it. And then all the cool kids get it now. All the hipster wannabes, they got these sleeve tattoos. It's embarrassing, actually. It's like, oh. So kids, if you want to be cool, don't get a tattoo. Anyway, all the hipsters get them. I'm going to be a sleeve tattoo guy. I'm going to show everybody that I'm a hipster. I'm like, dude, you just come on. And chicks getting freaking sleeves. I don't get that, man. That's just whatever. That's just, it's not attractive. It doesn't make you a cool kid, I'll tell you right now. It makes you a follower, in my opinion. Used to be only criminals, bikers, and guys in the military would get tattoos. At least when I was in the Army. Everyone got tattoos in the Army. I remember my man, had a guy named Corporal Sibley. He was like from the Midwest, like Indiana or something like that, about as white as you could possibly be, white bread. And he had arm tattoos, not sleeves, but just tattoos on his arms. He got them. My roommate across from me, Tony Mendez, had tattoos. He had sleeves. And it was like in the late 80s and stuff. And I remember Sibley getting tattoos because he was like white bread as you could possibly be. It was just kind of funny. And then Zepeda, he was from Texas. He had tattoos. It's just Army guys get them, and then obviously Navy guys says mom on there, and then jailhouse guys and bikers and punk rockers. I will grant you, rock and rollers. Hell, Bon Scott had a tattoo. Remember old Bon Scott? Anyone knew who Bon Scott was a front man for? Who knows it? Who knows it? Sailors, really? I didn't know that. Maurice, sailors start tattoos. I did not know that. Yeah, I got 4, Jeremy, and I was well on my way because they are addictive. Once you get one, you want to get more. And then the old ball and chain said, "Don't get another one." This is 25 years ago. I said, "But I really want one." Now I'm glad I didn't, but it's just yeah. Kim says, my grandson got a tattoo at 18. I was pissed. Yeah, my daughter knows a girl who just went to an uppity Ivy League school, and the minute she turned 18 in this uppity Ivy League school, she had to get a tattoo and to show her independence from her parents who are paying the way, I guess. I don't know. That stupid thing they put in their ear where the earlobes come down. I'm like, come on, man. Just, geez Louise. Can we just show some individuality? I am being an individual. Look at me. Or what they say is, I don't want anyone to look at me or judge me. So I'm going to put all these crazy piercings on my body and earlobe things and tattoos, but don't judge me. It's like, you want people to judge you. That's why you're doing it. Yeah. Dennis Rodman, when he's in Detroit. Yep. He had no tattoos. And then, obviously he was and then he went crazy, and that led to Allen Iverson. And Allen Iverson, he was kind of the bad boy of Georgetown. And then when he started getting tatted up, then it's like it always happens. All the blacks follow. The blacks go and the whites follow. It's like everything, man. It's like the white culture can't think for ourselves. We say the blacks are doing it, let's do that. It's like everything. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's the weirdest thing. Which is interesting because blacks are very good at many things. But it's just weird how much the whites, and they've been doing it for friggin' centuries. It's crazy. But until the blacks started getting the tattoos, whites weren't doing it. Not very many. Some were, the outcast kind of. But once it become mainstream among the black community, hip hop, then the whites fall. Don't forget, hip hop would be nothing if it wasn't for rich suburban whites. Just remember that. It'd be something among the blacks. I get you, but it's the whites that brought it to prominence. And now it's just funny. All the whites are rapping like that guy Tom McDonald, who I like his stuff on YouTube. But again, it was the whites, the rich whites, buying into gangster rap that made it explode. It's an interesting dichotomy. I don't know if that's the right word, that how the culture is, but hell, man, I was listening to this black guy from Mississippi playing a guitar on YouTube. This is what makes YouTube so great. It's like a jukebox. And he got some of his from, some some country guys. I mean, just you're sitting there thinking, man, the idea that it just killed you. Like, man, this guy, his talent was not known other than people who were able to see him play. And it just sucks, man, because, you know, so much racism and stuff. Really, you just listen to this guy play, and you just want, it's just like, it just pisses you off. You're like, how could this guy be kept not, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but you're like, how could that music not be out there in the mainstream just because of skin color? And the crazy thing, if you ever seen a black guy's palms, they're white. So if you look at a palm of a black guy, it's white. You're like, what? You're like, well, how can you be racist? It's the same friggin' thing. It's just a little bit different on here, but under here is white, and in here is all red. It's nuts. And I'm sitting there thinking, how can we deny that? And, you know, so anyway, long story short, you know, rock and roll came from the black blues musicians and stuff, and you know, the jazz. Whites took over jazz, and look, I'm not one of these guys that said we stole theirs. I don't think that at all. We didn't steal it. But at the end of the day, the whites were able to monetize it off the work of the blacks. I know some blacks got paid, but not the vast majority certainly did not. Which to this day makes me mad. But it just is funny because on, you know, rap music, you know, the blacks are doing rap music forever, but it wasn't all that famous until the whites started doing it. So the white kids, they didn't want to listen to that crap, not Motley Crue, that, you know, hair rock anymore. So they got out of that because that was kind of, you know what I'm saying? That was kind of feminine, if you're not, and you know what I'm saying, feminine. And so they said, we don't want to listen to that anymore. We want some tough music. We don't want to be looking like, you know, these drag queen friggin' bands. That's weird. And so we want tough music. And then gangster rap just filled the mode, man, filled that hole right there. And the rest is history. Yep, AC/DC, right on, Ross, right on, Pulverizer. Yeah, tramp stamp on moms ended the cool. Yeah, oh God, tramp stamp. COVID was good for the healthcare industry. I'm getting a bonuses here. You know what you should do with that bonus, Kim? You should follow my man who gave me that $25 super chat. You should send some money my way. I'm joking. Kim sent me these, well, not for me, my girls and, you know, my lady too, crochets, some knit. I'm going to screw it up, but these scarf things that were friggin' gorgeous. And we have to make sure Finney doesn't get his hands on them, because Finney, anything that's soft like that, Finney would kill. So we put it up from Finney, but man, they're friggin' gorgeous, Kim. So she sent me a box of them, and I was going to do a you know, like a box opening thing, whatever it's called. But anyway, long story short, those things are fantastic, Kim. So much obliged. And Kim said they took like 6 hours each doing them. Like crocheting, is that what's called? I don't know what it is. I would go insane, but it's fantastic. Quince, I bet, Kim, huge payouts to care homes and hospitals for COVID tests. Exactly. Shocking. What happened to the flu? It's just gone. I will look good. Yes, I would. Our healthcare. I think it's a great idea, William. Healthcare ETFs are a great idea. 100%. I don't know what the price. Oh man, I'm drinking vodka, seeing as water. If I even sniff vodka, Ross, I'd be drunk as a skunk. Simply because no alcohol has touched these lips since May 25th, 1997. I think healthcare REITs are, or did you say REITs? ETFs are a great opportunity. I just don't know what the pricing mechanism relative to earnings are, but it's hard to see, even on a socialized healthcare, which is inevitable. I hate to say, a single payer is coming. Even with a single payer, there's going to be private assisted living facilities, or at least private firms. It's fascism, man. It's what it is. And people are like, oh no, yes, it is. It's complete fascism. What's going on in the ESG movement is fascist. It's big government telling big business how to operate, and big business says, we'll do what you say, sir. ExxonMobil, perfect example. They're going green. Idiotic, but that's fascist without question. And the nursing home things will be fascist. They're going to say it's like a utility. We're going to give you a certain profit margin, but you do what we say. And I'm just telling you, it's coming. And if they can cancel Dr. Seuss, if you think they can't cancel you because of an ugly tattoo that said Trump for president or something like that, they're canceling Dr. Seuss. I mean, canceling Trump, the president of the United States, off social media is one thing. I mean, I don't get it, but whatever. But Dr. Seuss, my wife was reading a lady today who she knows on Facebook, and we know one of her kids who's a writer. And I said, she damn well better not be in favor of this. And she's liberal as liberal can come. And she had to wrap herself in a pretzel to agree that it's okay to cancel Dr. Seuss. I'm like, you're a friggin' writer. You deal in words and language. No writer should ever be okay with the cancel culture. I don't give two craps if they say the N-word. I don't care. None of that should happen because you're canceling someone's writings. There's this thing. It's crazy. Words actually don't hurt you. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Words are just words. What? Canceled? Words don't hurt. Words, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Huh? It's a word. I don't even care what it was. I'm Irish. You call me Mick. I don't care. But Josh, they didn't freaking enslave you. Okay. I get you. It's still a friggin' word, man. It's a word. To cancel people because the use of words is infantile. It's infantile. It's deadly because this is nuts. They're going to start saying, oh, your social credit score. Oh, I see, Josh, that you posted on YouTube one day that you didn't agree that we should cancel people for Mark Twain and Huckleberry Finn for uttering the N-word. No, I don't think so. Ooh, we'll have to put you to the back of the line when it comes to open heart surgery. Yeah, corporations are for bending the knee 100%. Oh, yeah. Oh, Vanguard. So, James, Vanguard is big on the ESG train. And this is what I did a video on this, 2.5 years ago about the concern I have for Vanguard. And you had BlackRock to. Oh, let's go ahead and real quick. Let's see if BlackRock, now that we got Sniffy Joe in office, let's see if BlackRock has changed their website. I'm going to say no. Hold on just a second. Oh, not Blackwater. We want BlackRock. Let's see what BlackRock. I'm predicting they're still going to be as left-wing climate change crap as before. Let's see here. All right, so here's BlackRock and helping our net zero commitment, helping our clients invest sustainably. We stand for racial equity. No, it's not equality. It's not equality. It's equity, a whole different thing. So why isn't he giving up his job to a black guy? That's what I don't understand. All these professors, we're for racial equity. Then why aren't you giving up your job? I want to know. So, man, these guys are evil. I'm telling you. And BlackRock controls more money than Vanguard does. And they have your proxy. When you say, I don't want to vote, they use your proxy to vote on your behalf. Oh, I freaking cannot stand these people. Alternative investments, sustainable investing, ESG. Look at that ESG. Just oh God, we believe that transition to a net zero carbon emissions will reward firms. Freaking these guys. And so let me ask you a question: if you're a mid-cap company and you're trying to raise money and you're trying to increase your stock share, and BlackRock comes to you, what's the first thing you're going to say? How green you are. You're going to say, I'm so green. I'm like Kermit the Frog. That's how green I am. Because you want them to put some money into your company, your share price. Or what if you're going to the capital markets trying to raise money? These venture capital firms are all, we got to be green. I tell you, man, the capital markets. So we have a public markets. Public markets are when you're trading, you're trading on the New York Stock Exchange, American Stock Exchange, NASDAQ. I have a sneaky suspicion there could be more and more companies privately owned, not being publicly traded, if that makes sense. And because I don't know how they're going to raise capital, but in some way, they're going to have I don't know how they're going to raise capital. I wonder how many of these companies are not all that concerned about raising capital. Let's just say you're a fabrication company, a manufacturing plant or something like that. You're like, look, I'm just trying to make widgets. I don't need to grow, into freaking Indonesia. I just need to make widgets in freaking, Clarksville, Tennessee or something like that. I could go public and sell shares to the public in order to raise capital and cash out some of my equity. But I could just take partners on. I don't know. I wonder. And what's going to happen is the more and more these public companies are refrained from innovating, the less innovation is going to be across the world. Because innovation starts here in the good old US of A, because we have the capital markets and we reward companies and people for innovating. We reward them financially big time. But I don't know how many entrepreneurs are truly green like that, where they say, I will sell my soul for rock and roll so I can get money. I don't know. And as such, I think they'll say, yeah, I would innovate, but I'm just I've innovated enough and I'm making a pretty penny now as the CEO of a 60 employee manufacturing firm. And as such, I'm just going to keep doing what I got to do. And that's going to be tough on innovation. And you can see that anytime the leeches on the government get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the government tentacles grow, it's negative on innovation for sure. And that might not be a bad thing. I don't know. I mean, it might not be a bad thing. It's certainly, do you see the life expectancy is now down to 77 years or something like that? It dropped a full year in 2020. And it's not just because of COVID. I mean, that helped it go down, if that makes sense, or whatever. But the life expectancy has been dropping since 2014 in the U.S. So all these guys saying we're going to live to 120, it ain't happening. Life expectancy is going down. A lot more suicides taking people out. And I'd say middle-aged people, a lot of middle-aged white guys being killing themselves, man, because they don't feel valued. Actually, if anything, they feel hated, and they are. That's a fact. So the first thing you got to do if you're hated like that is you got to stop apologizing. You say, okay, I get it. I'm a middle-aged white guy. Stop apologizing for it. Just say, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna put up with people who say white privilege. I'm not apologizing. I'm not justifying. I'm not saying some of my best friends are black. I'm not doing any of that crap. Just I am who I am. Take it or leave it. But the first thing you got to do, because we don't want you killing yourself. We want you staying healthy. We want you staying active. We want you raising your grandkids. We want you to be out there, fishing with your grandkids. And you can't do that if you're dead. You can only do that if you're alive. All right. So you got to find something that brings value to you. That might be through your church, might be through your grandkids, might be with your dogs. I don't know. But you also got to stop feeling guilty. You got to stop feeling bad. There's nothing to be guilty for. There's nothing to be ashamed of at all for who you are. There's nothing to be proud of either. I'll tell you this whole thing. I'm proud of my whatever. You didn't do anything. I'm proud as hell of those people who fought in the freaking Revolutionary War, walking around without shoes on, going to Valley Forge. It's insane. It has nothing to do with me. It's just nuts what they did. It's crazy. I'm proud and I'm stunned what they did without even knowing they're going to win the war and lead to the American where we are today. It's crazy to me. Divine intervention, you got to think. But either way, just because some of those guys are white doesn't mean, oh, look at white guys. Oh, kids are crap, man. You had nothing to do with it. And as such, there's nothing to be proud of, but there's nothing to be ashamed of either. Stop it. And anyway, so what we're going to see here is going to have less life expectancies, which is happening in front of our very eyes. A demographic population just explosion in terms of less and less people being born. Inherently less and less brains, more and more abortions. Just the innovation is probably going to be lessened and lessened, I would think. I'm not sure it's a bad thing. I don't know. I'm not sure if humanity is supposed to go on this trajectory always everywhere upwards. I don't know that to be true. It's interesting. Rose Wilder Lane, Laura Ingalls, whatever her name was, Laura Ingalls. Her daughter was a big libertarian. She was even pre-Ayn Rand, if memory serves. But anyway, she had written a book does anyone find it interesting that innovation was basically, at least in the Western world, because we don't all know that much about, the Asians and the Middle Eastern places, as much as we know about the West. But the Western world, there was basically no innovation at all, none until boom, 1850s, until the Industrial Revolution. It's just interesting. And essentially, it's not even the Industrial Revolution. It's because private property rights and capitalism. So no innovation, no innovation, no innovation. Then boom, it just last 150 years, 170 years now, because of private property rights, capitalism, free markets, free minds. Actually, I was listening to a guy the other day about the old Muslim cultures where they're very innovative. It was crazy how much these guys were just making hay, and then all of a sudden they started doing the Sharia stuff, which just shut everything down. Sad. I don't know what happened in China, but I do know the same thing's happening here, man. We're having our own version of SJW Sharia law that's happening. And so what was going on in these universities, you will lick the boot of the SJWs, and that of course means you're going to have political commissars that tell you can't study physics the way you're studying it unless you can do it with equity, not equality, mind you, equity. And that's going to make, the physicist, the chemist and all that less and less inclined to do things and less time in which to do it, because they're going to have to spend so much time proving for the political commissars. It's common, dudes. It is. And again, I'm not sure it's a bad thing necessarily with the innovation, simply because at some point you might grow too big for your head, and humanity might be, I don't know. It doesn't matter what I think, but we shall see. All right. Yeah, well, that's right. Harry says weak zombie companies have no choice just to listen. I completely agree. I mean, think about it. If you're Delta Airlines and Fauci says, make everybody wear a mask. You're going to make everybody wear a mask. Why? Because you need the money. You need the bailout. Well, profitable companies, it's actually interesting. I was listening to my man Owen Benjamin the other day, and he made a great point. He made a great point. If you have value, you can't be canceled. And the issue was he was doing it in regard to some stupid show on TV, The Bachelor or something like that, where somebody he wasn't woke enough. And he got shown the door, and it was like, how he's such a nice guy. How can you show him the door? And Owen was saying the reason is because he had no value. I mean, he just did what they told him to do. He's just some dude who happened to somehow get an audition in front of the Bachelor people. They liked him. They put him in an other talking piece, but he has no value, none whatsoever. And he goes, because he has no value, it's easy to cancel him. That's a great point. So you can't be canceled if you have some kind of value, something that people need. And what Owen does, he grows food. You know what I'm saying? So people who grow food will always have a value. That's because people need food to eat, to live, believe it or not. So that's a great way to put it. Are you bringing value? I don't know what you're doing, but if you're bringing value, you can't be canceled. And I just thought that's a great way to look at it. And bringing value in terms of, I don't know, whatever it is. I mean, I don't know. But if you're bringing value, you can't be canceled. Now they can cancel you off YouTube. They can cancel you off Twitter. I get all that, but they can't cancel you from still creating something that is of value to other people. Your value will shine through at some point. It might be harder. It might take longer. You might not make as much money, but if you have a value that you can bring to the table, people will hire you. Pushing papers back and forth for hedge funds, not value. There's no value there. None. And so they can, not only that, they're going to automate you. Look at these attorneys, man. These attorneys. I'm telling you right now, a lot of that stuff is going to be shipped off to India. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not that much value in all the crap that they're, I'm just telling you, man. Same thing with CPAs. We know for a fact a lot of tax stuff gets shipped off. Same thing with financial advisors, the robo-advisors. If you're not bringing value, your days are numbered and you can be canceled. So if you're not bringing value, but you're being paid as if you were, and you work for just say Charles Schwab, and you're making $150,000 a year plus bonus by managing people's accounts, but what's actually managing the account isn't you, is actually just the robo-advisor they're using, and they found out that you voted for Trump, they could cancel you. They easily, because you're not. I mean, you're easily replaceable. So we had Joe Smith. We found out he voted for Trump. He put something on LinkedIn that was kind of negative on the SJW, canceled. We're going to bring in Jane Smith over here because you specifically have no value. The company Schwab is bringing the value. And the same thing with profitable companies like old Harry is saying. If you got profit, if you're making money on doing it your own way, you'll be able to stand your own unless you need their help in some regard. Kind of like Warren Buffett with Goldman Sachs. Remember, Goldman Sachs, they went hat in hand, old Warren Buffett in 2008 because he was the only guy with cash, man. And cash sings like a bird when everyone else is hurting life. Everyone else is hurting. The cash sings, man. You're like, I got cash. You need some? I'm going to get 6.5% preferreds. I'm going to get warrants. I think you can, William, buy Wellington if you open a Vanguard account. I think you can. Yep. My boys grew up on Dr. Seuss. Yeah, right, because they rhyme. Yeah, terrible holder digging. All right, let's see. I'm getting killed by the stock market, but I'm leaving the stock market. I am buying more. I'm getting killed by the stock market, but I'm leaving the stock market. I'm buying. I don't get it. Jeremy says it's his value to hopefully stay employed. Well, that's IT. Yeah, I mean, that's. It's funny. So I deal with retirees or soon to be retirees, and some of these older men. They're in lines of work that they can't be canceled because they know the whole thing's going to fall if they're not there. Some of these IT guys, Jeremy, are on call 24/7, and it's killing them. But they're like, man, if I leave, this place is going to fall apart. And so basically they can demand whatever the hell they want to demand, if that makes sense. They can't be canceled. I'm telling you right now, if they said something on LinkedIn or whatever, YouTube about vote for Trump, they're not getting canceled because the company says, we need you to produce because if we don't have you, you're more value to us than we are to you, if that makes sense. Oh, yeah. Can't wait till the garlic starts sprouting. Yeah, right on, man. Oh, I didn't want that. 20, chug that vodka. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Yep. Yeah, freaking Roy, don't give credit to Greg Abbott. No governor of Texas should ever do lockdowns or mask mandates. Greg Abbott can kiss my big fat behind. I don't get this. Like, look, he's opening up. What the hell was Greg Abbott doing to begin with? He got played, man. He got played. You know who didn't get played? Brian Kemp here in Georgia. Greg Abbott got played. I don't get all this like, yay for Greg Abbott. We're opening up. It's friggin' Texas. Texas should never have lockdowns. Texas should never have mask mandates. It's Texas. It's not freaking New Hampshire, which is, relatively conservative, but it's Northeast nonetheless. It's Texas. Gosh. South Dakota, Florida, and Georgia. Arizona went crazy too. Ducey. It's like we had South Dakota, Florida, and Georgia. That's it. And don't forget, in Florida, Andrew Gillum was this flipping close to winning the governorship. But your vote doesn't matter, Josh. Hell, maybe not the president, but in the local election certainly does. Was it? I don't know. What freaking DeSantis? All the polls are way off. They had Gillum winning by 7. But if 20,000 people chose not to vote, Florida is just. You're DeSantis. By you voting for DeSantis in Florida, you saved tens of thousands of lives. Pat yourself on the back because you are a lifesaver. Because you have to compare that with freaking the killer Cuomo up there. Because he did not do what DeSantis did. And everyone and their mom are going after DeSantis and Brian Kemp. And we didn't have the deaths like these clowns did. Not even close. So by your voting for Brian Kemp instead of the grifter, what's her name? Stacey Abrams, or Andrew Gillum, the crackhead, whatever, who knows what he is. You saved thousands upon thousands of lives. And think about Florida now, all right? Many, many old people in Florida, a whole lot more than in New York. And as such, you would think Florida would be ripe to be, destroyed by the COVID. And yet, ironically, not even close because of who you voted for. You saved lives. Vote Republicans save lives, but not all Republicans. Greg Abbott, what the hell? Freaking it's Dave Ducey, whatever. David Ducey, Doug Ducey in Arizona. They held back, and they couldn't take it. And then they finally capitulated, and it's like, you freaking idiots. But I don't really want to get into it. But even my man, freaking Trumpster, sold Brian Kemp throw him under the bus. He should shut down. Georgia's going to be a freaking death wish. And everyone just, yep. Laura Ingalls Wilder, right on. Oh yeah, they're all pushing this crap, Jill. Somehow they think people want that stuff. It's just it's part of the Great Reset. I'm just telling you, man. It's a Great Reset. It's here. It's here. It's all part of the globalist cabal. I mean, literally, it is. And they, it's like they're hip. I get it, they're hypocrites, but because they still fly around their private. I get all that. I get all they're all fools. In terms of emissions, climate. Look, I get it. It's more than that, though. It's that they want to remove you from their lives. They want to be in a fiefdom. We have a rich globalist elite that controls everything, to including you and us. And sadly, we had a guy that was standing up against that, and now we don't. Did you see Biden when he said, "Hey, I'll take some questions if that's okay with you, Nance"? It's like, dude, you're the effing president. You're asking Nancy Pelosi if you can take questions, and you see what they did to him? They like yanked his mic and they put the thing. That's the president. I'm like, I don't like Sniffy Joe, but I was like, dude, you just totally. What the hell? I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa. Can you imagine if anyone ever did that to Obama? It's like friggin' Jill Biden. Stand up for your husband, for heaven's sake. Demand respect for the guy. He's the president of the United States. You can't have freaking Nancy and whoever the clowns are running the show there. I mean, who's running the show? Craig, you can't have them freaking disrespecting Joe Biden, our president, in front of the freaking country and never mind the world. He's got to stand up against the Chinese Nazis. He's not going to be able to do it if they say, hey, he's got no respect at home in his own party. Roy says he has a white friend. Stay away from him, Roy. He might do you wrong. Those white guys. Yeah. Today's SJW is going through the battle of the bulge. I'm a middle-aged white guy. Dude, I'm only 50. Does that make me middle-aged? Risking their lives to work. Oh, God. Yeah, now that you're retired, you can say what you want. Yes, sir. Nope, Jill, I was married on August 31st, 1999. But old ball and chain said, hey, look there, big guy. I don't like you drinking so much. So I'm not putting an ultimatum on you, but I said, it's just a beer or 10. And, I was never abusive or anything like that. Just, a sloppy idiot, man. It's just all there is to it. And I'm not, look, Charlotte's always been more mature than I. But you throw some beers in there, I'm even less mature. And she's like, dude, you're sloppy. Sloppy. And, all right. Keystone operators were already working on less emissions, but they still cancel them and kill jobs. Yeah. And the funny thing is about the funny thing is they're going to ship all this fuel via train because the fuel's still going to be shipped, man. It's just the whole thing. So, as my man from Eric Miller here from Wisconsin, I'm not sure if he's on here, but he showed me a picture of the trains going by. He was at a stop, had a stop for trains to go by, shipping. I can't remember if it's crude or whatever. He was shipping some kind of fossil fuel, some dirty fuel down to Texas. I'm not sure what was going on, but he said, "Yep, stop the pipelines. This is what we got." I said, "Yeah." The only green I'm interested is in the money. Well, me too. And what's out in the garden. I'm so green. I live on a little island in the Atlantic. Oh man, Love me some PEI. Tattoos among the stupidest things I've ever seen. Have seen it. Been a seaman for 45 years. And never had desire to deface my poor, pitiful self. Well, that is a good investment. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Red Bull. I've seen that. Red Bull seems like they're standing. No, Georgia. So what's going on, Jill? And this same thing happened in Texas. All these people like, we're free, we're free. You know, if you still go to these stores, you know, I went to Publix, still got to wear your stupid mask. I went to Costco, stupid mask. And they even make sure that it's not down. You normally keep it down, like just down here. I was walking there's a guy. So one of my kids was in contact with a kid who had COVID. And so we had to be quarantined. He's literally quarantined. Anyway, long story short, so I went to go get him. And there's this dude in line waiting to get his daughter, who's the same thing. And he said, it's funny, man, as he said to this guy who's kind of checking kids out, big, tall, black guy, I think he's from Haiti. He's like, hey, you know, I know you're just a messenger, but who are these parents sending their kids to school with COVID? I think there needs to be some harsh punishment for those parents. And the guy's like, dude, I can't tell you who it was. I mean, it's you. The guy's like, okay, I can't tell you who it was. And the guy's like, well, don't you think there needs to be some harsh punishment? They're like, that's like sending kids to school with a loaded gun. The guy's like, okay, the guy's like, I know you're just a messenger, but someone needs to be held accountable for sending your kid to school with COVID. And it's funny because we know the kid, and trust me, his parents. Let's just put it this way: it's the whole thing is stupid. Anyway, and so as a guy was walking by me, I just pulled my mask down. I just pulled it down. I said, went like that. I wanted to see him jump up. It was funny because I was like, dude, you're a freaking fool. And I felt I was proud of myself because I felt like saying, but he didn't send his kid to school with a loaded gun. Yeah, a loaded gun and COVID, not quite the same thing. They're a big guy. But I was proud of myself. I bit my tongue. Anyway, so when I was talking to the guy who was taking the brunt, I said, man, and he goes, what do they want to do? Execute these people? You know, put them in cages? What do they want? The kids to be freaking given up? And this is what the guy was saying to me, not me say the guy, the janitor guy, whatever it was, to sign these kids out. He goes, what does he want me to do? Execute these kids? You know, put them in, take away the kids, send them to freaking CPS? I was like, oh, thank you, good Lord. Thank you, good Lord. There are still some sane people out there. And the irony of it all is my man Owen Benjamin put a video of people in Jamaica, and I don't know when it was, but running for their lives when the vaccine man was coming. They said, I'm not messing around with this, because they know who's always experimented on this. You know what I'm saying? They know the people in Jamaica are like, hell no, you're not giving me vaccines. And I couldn't find the video that he had shown. I didn't look that hard, but I was watching the news clips in Jamaica just about the vaccine. They're interviewed. They're like, hell no, I'm not touching that. It cracked me up. The point being is that, do we not remember Tuskegee? I mean, the CDC is so righteous. I better be careful. CDC is so righteous. Huh. They weren't that righteous not that long ago. Literally in my lifetime, they weren't that righteous. That's for damn sure. Oh, they changed. Yeah. Have they really changed? Jill, you're missing the point. He allowed the camel's nose in. I'm telling you, this is the problem. A lot of people on my side, they were too quick on the trigger to say, let's just do something for a couple weeks. And and Trump went along with it, and he should never have done it. I'm telling you, we should never have followed and sat and allowed us to be scared of this thing until we had more data. And we simply did not. It was so obvious. I was saying it back then. I'm saying it now. The people who should be most ashamed are the ones who are now saying we should have, if we only would have listened, i.e. listened, I don't know what they would have listened, but they allowed that critical 3 to 4 week time to set in, which would say, it's okay for government to take over. And that Trump allowed that. And I get it. He was up against it. I get it. No matter what he could have done, he would have won. But he went, you have to pick a side. And the side has always got to be for freedom. And the sad thing is Trump's a germaphobe. I know that's what it was. I know for a fact. Well, I don't know for a fact. But I know for a fact he's a germaphobe. And I know that he got scared because of the virus, the germs, and whatnot. He said, "Oh, we better flatten the curve because I just." And I thought there's people on this. Hey, right on, Nate. Much obliged. There's people on my live stream on my channel who know that these people lie when it comes to client data. And I'm like, climate data. I'm like, if you know they lie when it comes to climate data, well, why would you believe what they're saying now? It's nuts. Oh, man. All the various open source projects I use have posted BLM slogans. GitHub replaced all the master branches with main. I'm getting an anal swab. I'm going to China to get that anal swab. Or maybe just go back to drinking good old-fashioned water, right? Buffett loves railroads, right on. Anyway, so you have to have masks in Georgia if you go to these places. But you can at least walk down the streets without a mask on. Are PCR tests 75%? I thought they're 50%, man. Did you see the story about the WHO's World Health Organization's COVID testing guidance? PCR were generating a very high fault. Yeah, I think it's 50%. So they replaced them with antigen tests. Big decline in cases. What happened to the flu? Well, we know what happened to the flu. Hospitals don't get paid for serving people the flu. So it's under the COVID thing. I mean, it's so freaking obvious. Anyway, so the point being was that at the end of the day, when you allow big government to take over, they never give it up. And I'm stunned at how many people and that's the thing with Greg Abbott. He hung tight for a long time. Doug Ducey, they hung tight. And then they capitulated. It's the weird. I was like, why are you capitulating now? It's actually, for the overall scheme of things, it's probably good. It's my black pill, essentially. None of these guys I trust. I mean, I like the Republicans more than Democrats, but it goes to show you, man, at the end of the day, the media still controls things. The Republicans don't have it together to fight it back. They just can't. Trump tried, but even Trump was able to get, boondoggled with the fear mongering. Remember, they used to say, "Oh, don't send." What was it? You want profits over people. That's what they used to say, because COVID was going to kill 3% of the population, and we want our business to open. You want profits over people. Remember that? I mean, all these various sayings that they used to say, it's just gone by the wayside. It's like, it's all, and this is what a guy was saying on my YouTube channel. I said, I'm double standards, that's fine. Because the left always, they never have any consistency, never any logic, always double standards, always. And so the Republicans are always fighting one hand behind the back. We said we have to be consistent, we have to be logical, and we can't have double standards. And the left doesn't do that. They just don't. They just don't. We can't drop bombs in Syria, Jen Psaki said, because when she was out of power, but we can now. Why? I mean, look, Republicans do some of this too. I get it. But the left is notorious for not being logical, not being consistent. They just don't care. Whatever it takes to win the argument of the day, that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. Cuomo should be gone. Should be gone. For his obviously he'd be gone for killing people, but he should certainly be gone for his stupid Me Too thing. And he's not going to be. Friggin' what's the Northam and that the clown they got as the attorney general or whatever it is, lieutenant governor in Virginia. They should all be gone, but they're not. Yeah, well, let's hopefully there's no long-term side effects. I think it's funny. People say, don't you know the long-term side effects of COVID? I'm like, no, and you don't either. We know that. And I say, well, the vaccine, though, there could be long-term side effects. Well, at least they'll save me from COVID. I said, will it? Really? Will it? Okay. It's weird. Yeah, but they did. Yeah, that's right. So right on, Pulverizer. I guess I'm following your lead here. The black pill is nothing to do. Nothing to do. We're all. I mean, I'm not saying we're all doomed. I refuse. As a Christian, I can't say I'm doomed. I'm not. But at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about it. But what was I going to say? Right here, James, you'll be happy to know that the House and the Senate are putting together good bills, real good bills that's going to clean up a lot of this crap. Lots of good stuff in the legislature. The one, and I'll get off here tonight after this. Yeah, DeSantis he's the man of all men. I know Jill's gonna get mad. I hope Trump does not run again. I'd love to see DeSantis. I like Rand Paul, but he doesn't have the oomph that I would like, frankly. And again, we need to. Well, we need to. Appreciate that, Nate. Not sure what the super sticker is, but if it's 3 schmackers, I will use that. Good for my wife for giving me some tough love. 1999 till today, lots of tough love, Jill. The issue is the Republicans get bold when they're out of power. That's just a fact, and that's good. Democrats do too. Don't get me wrong. But the Republicans know they're up against it with the media, and they're always trying to fight the two battles. They got to fight to keep the conservatives in bay, and then they try to capitulate to the media so they don't get hammered too much for the election. So they're always trying to do this. So once they're out of power and the media's focused on Sniffy Joe and the Democrats, the Republicans kind of under the cover of darkness, like what's happened in Georgia, can really make headway. I'm telling you right now, it's not being in power sometimes. Look, I wish it's the executive office that scares the hell out of me with the Biden, but nothing to do about it. So what you can do is, at least on the state level, you can say, all right, that's the way you want to play. We'll play right back at you. You know what I'm saying? And, the Supreme Court, at the end of the day is more conservative than it was. That's just a fact. So what usually happens is the Supreme Court will come in and say, in Arizona, you can't police up your own borders. 5-4 majority for the liberals with what's his name, Kennedy siding, I think it was Kennedy siding with the liberal majority, unfortunately. And they weren't the majority, but so essentially, Arizona said, we're going to police up illegal immigration because the federal government's not doing it. And the Supreme Court says you can't. But the Supreme Court is more conservative now than it was. That's just a fact. On top of that, there's only so many things they can take on. So they're not going to take on the Georgia voter cleanup. They're just not. And if they were, it'd probably be to solidify because we have a good conservative majority, more so than we did before. So this is good because we still have Brian Kemp in office. We still have majorities in the House and the Senate, and that's in the Georgia. And as such, if the Republicans were smart, and it looks like they are, I can't imagine Brian Kemp would not sign this thing. But if they were smart, they recognize we got basically 18 months to get this done because 2022 everything's up again, and Stacey Abrams is going to run again. And if we don't get this cleaned up, she's going to win. She's going to win. Because she knows how to play the game, and the Republicans don't. Because we're always going for a free and fair election. The Democrats said, you do that, we're going to do this other thing. It happens all the time. But anyway, so what's happening, there's a lot of good stuff in the legislatures going out there. And that's why I'm telling you, they used to say the states were the petri dish of politics because you could see things that are happening. Look, man, the Second Amendment stuff all flowed from individual states. It really did. And then it flowed up into the federal government. It didn't come from top down. It came from bottom up. A lot of school choice stuff. Arizona led the way for school choice. And I forgot her name, man. I wish I remember who she was. But in the late 90s, there was a lady, Secretary of State of Arizona, a pretty lady. And I loved her. She was fantastic. But I forgot what her name was. But anyway, she led and she took all the arrows for school choice. Fan-freaking-tastic in charter schools. And now we're seeing it spread all across the land, which is good. And then you got Second Amendment. Then, from the Institute for Justice, going against, keeping people from starting businesses, from having to go through these insane regulations. That's all from the states. Then it goes up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says, yep, I bless you, my son. And, lots of good stuff. Now, with that said, we're competing against the Titanic that is the federal government. But the federal government can only do so much for the most part. The states can still operate in some regard as we still have now. Like Georgia never had a mask law and never did, never closed. I mean, a lot of places did, a lot of localities did, a lot of businesses says you got to keep it, you got to, stupid, but, private businesses, they have a right to do. Look, that's the thing. If you're a private business, you have the right to do whatever the hell you want, which includes smoking cigarettes, by the way. This is the logic that the Democrats don't follow. Well, if I'm a private business and I have a right to make people wear masks or make people stay social distance because I'm a private business, even if the state can't enforce me to not make people wear masks, well, I'm a private business. I should do what I want. Okay, well, I'm also a private business. I want to allow smoking. How come I can't do that? Because secondhand smoke, people have a right not to come here if they're worried about it. It's discriminatory against employees. They have a right not to work here if they don't want to. But there's no logic or consistency on the left, none whatsoever. Me, I'm very logical and consistent here. Let the private business do what the hell they want. I don't care. As long as they're not hurting anybody, go crazy, man. You want to mandate masks? You want to mandate vaccines? You want to mandate freaking yellow stars on my chest? You know what I'm saying? To say that I'm of a certain religion? Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't have to go. You can't force me to go there, the government, and I don't have to go there. At the same point, if we're going to allow private businesses to do that, we need to allow private businesses to do other things too. Let people smoke. Let people do it. I mean, and I just use smoking because that was, again, where the Republicans started losing the control of the free market narrative back in the 90s in Virginia, nonetheless. And I just said, whoa, why are Republicans pushing this crap, banning cigarette smoking in restaurants and bars? The Republicans should never be doing that. A lot of local Republicans, your local county politicians, are just as big government as your local Democrats are. I'm telling you, there's a lot of little tyrants in there too from the Republicans. I'm telling you right now, they just happen to be Republicans because Republicans are the favored party in your locality. Trust me, there's a lot of little tyrants in your local Republican politics, and they want the power of government to tell you how to run your life and business. Absolutely. So you don't, just because they have an R next to their name doesn't mean they're inherently for freedom. That's for damn sure. All right. I guess we'll get out of here. Yeah. I mean, but Josh, secondhand smoke is stupid. Give me a break. Yeah. On top, it's the whole thing is stupid. The idea we're all going to die by being in a bar from someone with secondhand smoke. It's stupid, but even if that were so, then don't go. You don't have to go there. It's I'm not holding a gun saying you will come to my bar and be around people smoking cigarettes. What they'll argue is an ADA violation. Okay, well, ADA violations for masks, right? We can sue for masks because ADA, having the thing on your face. What Costco says, well, if you can't wear a mask because you have to wear the face shield. That's an ADA violation too. You can come up with all kinds of reasons why that is. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but. Maybe my glasses get fogged up. I don't know, whatever. But maybe I can't afford a face shield. But you come up with all kinds of stuff. Democrats do too, and the Republicans need to get better at that too. When our stuff is violated, the Republicans need to start saying we're suing. You have to have legislation. I hate to have legislation by freaking judicial authority, but that's where we are now. That's where we are. The judicial branch is the governing authority. That's just a fact. So. All right. See you guys. Oh boy. Georgia, free and fair elections allow for voter suppression. Okay. ARK turned into politics, got to get out now. All right, so here's a good one. Didn't people rage against letting blacks enter their businesses? What if the current laws wear masks will be recognized as what if the current laws will be recognized as protecting vulnerable? I mean, again, I never understood. At the end of the day, if a company doesn't want your business, why would you want to go? Why would you want to go? That's my big thing. I don't understand the whole thing. It says, hey, you don't want me because I'm white, I'm not going. You don't want me because I'm black, I'm not going. Why would I give you my money? It makes no sense. As a part of protecting vulnerable populations, is that what we're going to say? You're private only. You can do whatever you want only as long as you're protecting vulnerable populations. You have this thing called freedom of choice. you don't have to participate in that activity. It's crazy. You could go over there. It's nuts. Crazy. So crazy it just might work. This guy doesn't have a mask. Ah! I'm going to go over here instead. Ooh, crazy. Oh, dude, anytime you're on my channel, it's going to turn to politics, man. Give me a break. If it's on my channel, it's going to be political. If I do live streams, because there's 3 things I like. Well, 2 anymore. I like sports, not so much anymore. I like politics, and I like financial planning. That's my 3 things. They're my kids and my dogs, but those are my 3 things. I like gardening, but not enough where I do YouTube channels on it. What else do I like? I like to read, and the stuff I read, I share with you guys by and large. But what I like is stuff this what gets me fired up, man. And there's enough fellow travelers out there, but I'm just telling you, man, just be advised. I'm not afraid to get in the political thing because politics, I don't want to talk about it. Trust me. You might not like politics, but politics likes you, man. All right, we'll see you guys. Thanks for being here, guys. Boston Terriers. Isn't that the name of the BU? Isn't that the BU team? The Boston University, aren't they called the Terriers? We're AOC, got her degree in economics. A stellar economics department there at BU. Larry Kotlikoff should be really proud. All right. We'll see you guys. Thanks, man.